because there's lots of things that are happening. The USMA's MCA, which is the treaty between Mexico, the U.S., and Canada, it's in the middle of being negotiated right now. They're running out of time. That thing is negotiated right. Holy cow, is that bad? Because all of our parts are made in different car. It's made part made in Canada, part made in Mexico, part here. What does this mean?
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by movies. Let me tell you about us movies. We're real. We're spectacular. Hot politics and fun, sprinkled with a lot of laughs. Heard in every state of the union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 17 years of broadcast excellence. Now in our 18th year, the Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. I'm back. Glad to be back. Used up most of my points on my credit cards with Lisa, and we took a vacation to Maui celebrating our marriage and followed it up by flying to Vegas to attend McDonald's convention. Two words come to mind about that. Elton John, 79 years old, 3 hours of entertainment, and we met up with old friends at the convention and Lisa's relatives in Hawaii, my relatives too. They're beautiful children. While Lisa went snorkeling in the ocean, I played the Plantation golf course 5 minutes from the hotel twice. I want to thank JP Maxwell and Bill Hardwick and Don Mayhew. We had two great shows without me. I mean, these were wow performances, both running for the same Missouri Senate seat as opponents. I ran into a lot of interesting people there. One night I was looking for the Spurs Knicks game and couldn't find it on my hotel TV. They want to drag you down and make you gamble during that. So I went down to the casino and I found it on in a bar restaurant. My wife was at the pool with our family. We agreed she would come over and watch the game and have a few drinks. Meanwhile, the bar filled up and people tried to take the chair I was saving for Lisa. I took my menu off that was sitting on the chair and took my eyes off it, and some guy sits down next to me, and I said, "Hey," told him, I says, "I was saving it for my wife." As I said that, two bar chairs opened up on the opposite side, and this man went and sat with his wife. We got to talking, and he mentioned he was the owner of the bar restaurant there in the casino, and he was an Irishman from the Bronx. After he told me he introduced Melania to Trump. Well, I'm sorry, I've ran out of time. I can't really talk about it. Let's we'll talk about it later. Number 2, please.
I want you to understand. I want you to think of Europe as the European Union, and that all of these countries over there are just like states. Their Germany is their Texas and Florida. Okay, everything else, like France, is their California. England might be their New York. And those are the strong ones outside of Canada. It'd be like if you get rid of Germany, it would be as if the United States got rid of every productive state in the Union, and you were left with New York, Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, New Jersey, California, Oregon, and Washington.
All right, we're back on the show, and so glad to be back. Although it was a necessary thing in my life, I haven't really gone on very many trips. A few here and a few there, but this one was special, and Lisa wanted to do it. And then while we adjusted our schedules for our anniversary, my son informed me, "Well, aren't you going to the convention?" I said, "Well, when's that?" It's a week after you're supposed to, come back. So we arranged it again, and we flew from St. Louis to Hawaii. Whoa, that was painful. And then we flew back from Hawaii to, and speaking of my wife, she's right there. Thank you. We flew to Las Vegas to catch the rest of the convention. We only missed like one day or so. And hi, honey, how are you? She's smiling anyways. I don't know what that means. She says she didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I don't know why.
3 hours.
3 hours of sleep. Wow. I couldn't do that. Anyways, we got a great show today. We have JJ supposedly on at 8:07. We've got Chris Adamo 9:30. The rabbi's on at 8:40. And we've got a guy we've got Richard C. Jeffrey, and he's going to be the wild card of this show because he's got a lot of stuff about space aliens, and especially in Missouri. He knows a lot about it, and he's in Illinois, and his daughter took pictures of a space alien saucer, and then somehow forgot it to tell her father about it. And it doesn't make sense because it seems like somebody blinded her because they didn't want those pictures shown. And then they found it in their phone. So it's pretty interesting. JP and Rick, great time. Great. Thanks for being there. And Rick coming right back and giving us some great clips, especially of the Glenn Beck and Hardwick and Maycrew. Thank you so much for doing the show. You guys are probably competing very hard lately because when is their election?
Early place? August, first Tuesday, August.
First Tuesday in August.
4th, yeah.
August 4th. So I'll get out there and vote. What the hell? You got to vote, guys. It's so important to vote. Obviously, we're seeing this in California. We're going to be talking about today. And you know what? I just saw a person show up. He always shows up, but he's a great guy, and he is 257 years old. He is an expert on the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. And he is, let me hand my phone to JP because I have not done that. He's responsible for the phone. But this gentleman, he's here for the Justice Report, and he's always on top of things. And please welcome, all the way from Rolla, Missouri, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. There you go.
Thank you, Dave.
Hi, JJ. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome back to God's country. I'm glad you guys had some fun.
And you guys did a great job. Oh, wait, he set his alarm.
Just to make sure I don't miss this. Yeah, it was rather interesting from my point of view. It's way different than talking with you on a Friday morning. So it was refreshing. It's good.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say I missed you, and I'm glad we're having our normal conversation.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you mentioned at the tail of your monologue about the California elections, and that wasn't the first on my list, but let's talk about that for a minute, because I think people in Missouri need to know how far astray California has gone in their elections. You and I both believe that 2020 was stolen, and well, I'm sorry, 2016 was stolen too, but and we've said that, and it's proven to be true. Well, let's talk about California. They have been a Democrat-controlled state for a good long while, and Sacramento has put some laws in place that will ensure that Democrats are the only folks that ever get elected in California. Let's talk about why. California has ranked choice elections. Now, in Missouri, you've got the Republicans, the Democrats, the Libertarians, the gay and liberals, all of these groups, and they put forward what they believe to be their best candidate in the primaries, and we vote yay or nay. Whoever gets the most votes wins. California is completely different than that. This ranked choice voting, they don't care what party you are. Anybody that's in California can file for an elected office. So you've got this large slate of people, some of whom are maybe qualified, and many of whom are not even remotely qualified to hold an office. But what they do, they've got this large page of people, and election day, or in California's case, election week or election month, so everybody votes for who they want to. Well, if one candidate gets 50% or better of the votes, he wins. Hey, yay. The problem is no candidate ever gets 50% of the vote on the first slate. So they take the top couple that occur out of that first litter, and then they have a runoff election. Well, here's the problem. California's voting laws are so ridiculously liberal. You can register to vote in the state of California using a library card, if that's what you wish to do. You can go into an election clerk's office and claim that you are John Doe, and they don't ask to see anything. You could walk in and say, I'm a space alien, and they would register you to vote. They don't care if you are a citizen. They don't care if you're a illegal alien. They don't care if you're a Russian spy. They will register you. It gets worse than that, Dave. If we look at the last mayoral election, Karen Bass and company, Karen Bass was losing by 8 points.
Right.
Losing by 8 points.
She's the mayor of LA at the moment.
The current mayor of Los Angeles.
Right.
So there is no voting day in California. It ends up being a voting week or voting 2 weeks or voting month, because they count mail-in ballots way after the election. Well, here's the problem. Karen Bass is 8 points down. She's fixing to lose, okay? And here come the mail-in ballots. Box after box after box, all Democrat. All Democrat.
So there's a problem right there, isn't it?
Oh, hell yes, Dave.
What is the problem in as few words as you can tell me?
We're talking a huge problem because there is no verification done as to where these ballots came from. Nobody knows. And in fact, once the ballot is separated from the envelope that it came in, nobody can ever know. So unless you have inventoried the envelopes, you don't know where the hell these things came from. Well, it's even worse than that, because California.
Did the Supreme Court come up and say there is one day for voting and that's it, other than some minor exceptions?
We're working on that,
Dave.
Okay,
why don't we? I want to hear what can they be? Can they go back and fix this?
I don't think so. But
I don't know.
Let me continue. Let me continue on the thread that I started here, because there is a conclusion to it. Since those ballots that come in that are mail-in ballots, that once they are separated from the cover, the envelope, nobody can do anything about it. California
what do they do?
mails
Just
out.
burn it, or don't they have to hold on to them for a while?
They hold on to the ballots. They don't hold on to the envelopes.
Uh-huh.
And therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
It's worse than that. This gets gotten so ridiculous, I can barely believe it, but it actually gets worse than that. California mails out ballots to every registered voter on their list. California doesn't go through their list and take out illegal aliens and dead people and people that have moved and left no forwarding address. They make no mention of doing that. So you've got all of these ballots, many of whom are going to people that are no longer there. Well, that's so easy to just sign your name on that, vote Democrat, mail that baby in, and there is nothing can be done about it because the California legislature has made stealing elections legal in their state. Now, you mentioned the Supreme Court. The Supremes have been looking at this stuff, not only California, but Minnesota. You pick any blue state where they're likely to cheat. And the SCOTUS has said, wait a minute. The founding fathers, some of whom I knew, said that we're going to vote on one day. We're going to have an election day. So SCOTUS is saying, now, wait a minute, this has gone way beyond the pale of reason because you guys are accepting ballots 1 week, 2 weeks, a month after the election day. And in doing so, you have tainted the election. Well, SCOTUS has the last say on this thing. And SCOTUS is going to direct the states to clean up your act. Let's talk about Judicial Watch for a minute. Tom Fitton runs Judicial Watch, and he has been a thorn in the side of these people for years.
Yeah.
Why? He uses the Freedom of Information Act, followed by a lawsuit, to uncover these things that have been so thoroughly hidden for so long. My hat's off to Tom Fitton. I do financially support his efforts because I think he's doing the right thing. What happens in California, he files a Freedom of Information request. They promptly ignore it. He files a lawsuit. He has a pretty good-sized team of lawyers. And ultimately, the courts force the states to give up the information, at least in most cases. So what Fitton has done is force many states to remove dead voters from their rolls, to not mail ballots to questionable places, to not accept mail-in ballots a month after the election. The founding fathers said election day, right. Not election week, not election month.
And it hasn't changed. Has it?
Well, it's in the process of changing back to election day.
Right.
Now, the question you have to ask is, how is it that Florida can, in 24 hours, count all the ballots, and California, in a week and a half, can't count all the ballots?
Well, they are counting the ballots, but not all of them, because they know they got a reserve. They know they got a reserve that's going to overthrow anything, and they can make it look any way they want to in terms of a tight race or a kill race.
It is completely manipulated.
It's completely idiotic to think that state is following any kind of law except for we win any way we can.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. The California legislature over decades has made all of these shenanigans pretty much legal.
Yep.
If you or I walked in there and said, I'm Joe Blow from the other side of Mars, they would give you a voting card. It is that wide open.
Yeah.
So, the SCOTUS is looking at this, and I'm glad that they are. Donald Trump has already said on many occasions, elections in blue states are stolen. They're rigged. And
now he's got proof. You see, we didn't have proof right after the 2020 election when Barr came out and said, well, there's no, he comes out like less than a month after the election and says, while he's still the AG to Donald Trump, and says, "Well, there's no proof of anything here." Of course
Yeah,
not.
Bill Barr
You haven't
looked
looked at it yet, you dope.
He
I
looked
mean,
at
come
nothing
on. You
and then
can't
said,
be.
nothing to see here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now
we know.
So, well, yeah, that evidence is growing, and you and I have said for a couple of years now, we know this thing was rigged, and now there is ample evidence. Now, the question is, are they going to pursue this? Are they going to prosecute it? Typically, one politician will pat the other on the back and say, "Well, we'll just ignore this, for the better good."
And that's why you got to get rid of the rhinos, because they'll go along with it and even help it along.
Trump is not going to shut up about this until something gets done.
Well,
and I'm glad that he's brought it to the attention of the populace, because there's the great number of unwashed in this country have no clue that elections are being stolen. Of course, half of them don't vote anyway. But yeah, it's a real problem, and that takes me to illegal immigration.
Don't vote because they know their vote is useless, and that's another thing. You have a right to have your vote count. That's in the Constitution as well, is it not?
It is indeed.
Yes.
And also equal protection under the law, that fits in that same spot. You and I are being discriminated against when our vote is not counted. So, there's an awful lot of illegal immigrants that vote in our country. And I'm going to use that as a segue to Western Europe, because they got a little problem. Western Europe has been run by liberals for the most part for a good long while. The Labour Party runs Britain, and I'm afraid Britain has become the leader in hapless management. Many others, France, Italy, have had open immigration policies, not unlike what our country had. So they've been flooded with, guess what? Muslims, the scourge, the cancer of this world. They've been flooded with them. And their management chose to look the other way and say, welcome in. You don't have to assimilate. We've got a welfare state, so you really don't have to get a job. You don't have to put your kids in school. You just come here and be a parasite. And that's happened all over Western Europe. Well, here comes Ireland. Now, if you remember decades ago, we had the Catholics and the Protestants killing each other in Northern Ireland. And all of them wanted away from Great Britain. So now, guess what we got in Belfast, Dave?
Well,
we got riots. Why? Because an illegal Syrian alien stabbed and killed an Irish citizen. And they're raising hell about it now. And rioting in Belfast, haven't heard much about Belfast, but all of this comes from that wide open borders. We welcome any idiot that shows up at the door. And now you got this stabbing, this killing of an Irish citizen by an illegal alien. And apparently, this illegal alien was well known to law enforcement, well known. The courts had just turned their backs on every incident this guy had. Does this sound like something?
How did you know I was doing this for my model? How did you know that I was doing this for my clips that I had?
I had no idea, Dave. We don't collude.
It's incredible. Okay, play number 3, and we'll have time to comment on it. All right.
Okay, good.
Germany is the machine shop of the Western world, has been for a long time. If you bought a luxury car, there was a good chance it came from Germany. You walk into any factory anywhere on earth, and odds were very high that the machines, the best machines that were inside that building, no matter where you were coming from Germany. Their chemical plants powered Europe, BASF, okay? Their steel mills fed industry. Engineers were the backbone of modern manufacturing. German ingenuity, German craftsmanship, almost as good as German chocolate cake. People were doing serious work. Not anymore. There's some information that is coming out of Germany right now. Their German corporate tax revenue, listen to this, their German corporate tax revenue collapsed in January almost 80%.
All right, so comments on that. This leads into all sorts of problems for the EU and all sorts of stupidness they've done because of the Great Green Power Outage or whatever they called that. And it is absolutely stunning that they are killing off their own economies, and now they've got a problem with Shia Muslims taking over their countries.
Yes. Doesn't this amaze you, Dave? If you look, Muslim countries, let's take Saudi Arabia, for instance, a pretty good example, have a tremendous amount of money. Why?
Yeah.
Their oil revenues.
Right.
Their oil revenues are something beyond imagination. So they have a tremendous base of money. They can influence things all over. Well, let's go to Germany. Germany was once the pinnacle of manufacturing and engineering. Yeah. I have considerable respect for them, but they have been flooded. They have been flooded with money from Arab countries. So some of the big German manufacturers no longer are owned by Germans anymore. Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, what's happened? Then let's take this incredible influx of Muslims into the country that, for the most part, produce nothing. They are parasites. They will not assimilate into your country. They will be on your welfare state from now on. They don't intend to get a job. That's not all of them, okay? I'm not lambasting an entire race.
There are two kinds of Muslims. There's Shia,
Sunni.
Right, and Sunni. And Sunnis are a little bit better off, a little bit smarter. They tend to be good citizens in the United States, even Israel. But the Shias, they want you dead. If you don't go along with them, they kill you.
Well, the point there with Germany, the point that you made, is their manufacturing base is faltering. They're turning into another welfare state, just like the rest of Western Europe. And it can't be helped when you flood a country with parasites, folks that will contribute nothing but drain your economy. Guess what? Your economy gets drained.
Yeah.
And Western Europeans have done nothing about it. Now, apparently, some folks at Belfast, Ireland have decided they've had enough of it. But that's one tiny example. But we have that same problem in this country. We've opened the gates and let 12 million people who we don't know, we have not vetted, and many of which are never going to contribute to this country. They're going to be a parasitic drain on our economy. And beyond that, stir up a whole bunch of trouble. Let's kill a bunch of American citizens.
They're talking about like 300,000 children they can't find. They can't find them. And they're looking all over the place for them right now, who were also taken in with the idea that they will be taken in and become citizens and vote for Democrats.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And, that was not an accident, Dave. That was intended by the Democrat, the corrupt Democrat Party. And people will blame that on Joe Biden, but I'm afraid Joe Biden doesn't have enough sense to say yay or nay. But the cabal, the committee behind him, those faceless folks that pull the strings, nothing but communism. This is Marxism 100%. They are anti-American. They want us to fail.
And this was a story of the Mexican cartels partnering with the Democratic Party. They were paying them to get these children into our country. The Democrats were, and that's what I believe now. And I've seen some evidence to it. I've seen pictures of these people walking up and down the streets with each other back in 2014. And what were they doing with known cartel leaders?
Well, sorry about that.
This show's getting really. We're getting. I don't know whether that's AI or you.
No, that was me. My phone rang. I'm at the Gadsden Shooting Center, and I am on call right now for doing some stuff. So as soon as I'm off with you, I've got, as was my colleague saying, hey, we need you.
Hey, tell him you're on my show. They should
We
be.
have our
looking-
priorities, Dave, and your show is the top priority. That's why
thank you
Quinn
so
took the
much.
call. I'll call him back.
Well, you all right? Well, you know, you let me know when you got to go, and when you got to go, you got to go.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You know, the Democrats, they run on chaos. Okay, a chaotic country is a benefit to them. So let's talk about Carmelo Anthony for a moment.
Now, who's
Anthony
Carmelo
is
Anthony?
He's a black student that carried a knife in a backpack to an athletic event at his high school.
How old was he?
I don't know.
17.
Don't care.
17.
The fact is, a criminal is a criminal.
Yeah.
And he got into it, apparently more or less innocently, with a fellow named Austin Metcalf, pulled out the knife, put it in Austin Metcalf's chest, and killed him.
Yes.
Carmelo has a little problem because there are witnesses. There's actually video of part of this. So this black kid who killed a white kid in a high school, where there were supposedly no weapons, carried a weapon in there. All right, he went to trial and he was convicted.
Quickly.
And he got what, 35 years, Dave?
I'm not sure what it was.
It matters
Was that
not.
right? 35 years? Yeah.
The Democrats and the Black Lives Matter folks are raising hell about this.
Sure.
Because they claim this was racially motivated.
Right.
They claim that this trial was an abomination because of the race of this kid. So, okay, the other day I looked up the jury pool just to see what kind of racial thing we had. And of course, the Democrats lie. So they're saying, hey, an all-white jury convicted this guy.
Yeah.
There were 2 Arabs on that jury, 2 Hispanics, 1 Asian, and a smattering of whites and a black or 2.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. If this isn't a cross-section of our country, I don't know what is. So, but the Democrats and BLM are raising hell about this, claiming that it's racial. It was not. It was so clearly not. And this guy was convicted on a preponderance of evidence. This is not something that we slam this guy in the slammer and say, you're never coming back out like they did to the January 6ers. No, this guy was convicted by a jury of his peer. He's clearly guilty. But the Democrats and BLM have grabbed onto this thing and said, let's make this our banner. Yeah. Again, these folks chose a bad hill to die on. Yeah. Why is it, Dave, that for years you and I have said these people are on the wrong side of every single argument that they make?
Maybe we should bring back the jury that let O.J. Simpson go because they were almost all black. I mean, they had tons of evidence that it was him. We know it was him now. And, there was a couple of people that died from that. He killed another person that was a witness to it. Right.
Yeah, killed Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson.
Yeah.
And, but remember, this trial was held in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This is a Democrat stronghold. You got Democrat judges. You got a preponderance of Democrat voters. How the hell are you going to get a jury of your peers in that? And they wouldn't change venue. So, again, California, they sure managed to come up on the wrong side of arguments. And the Democrats, in particular, the Marxists.
New York, in the game after they had a miracle win against the Spurs, and they're still out there. These are New York fans. They're still out there breaking cars down, beating each other up. 10 police had to go, were injured, and 56 were arrested. And this is in a celebration.
Yeah, you don't have enough cops to quell this thing. And what are you tearing up the town when you won for? I mean, come on. What kind of moron does that?
Well, okay. Well said.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I got a parting shot for you if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Donald J. Trump, we've been working diplomacy with Iran for a good long while now, and the Iranians have been dragging their feet. And Trump has said again and again and again, we will bomb you into oblivion. You need to meet these demands. And of course, the Iranian leadership, such as they are not going to abide by that. So, last couple of days, what happened, Dave? We bombed the hell out of them. That's what.
Out of them. And then all of a sudden they got jiggy with it, and they say they've got a deal. They say they've got a deal. They haven't signed off on it yet, but I have clips in here that show that these guys have lost. Even their toughest guys out there, you know, the 60,000 or so that are out there, they're all quitting. They don't want to die.
I mean, they haven't been paid. The country is bankrupt. They're not paying their military.
Right.
And, patriotism only goes so far. You can't feed a starving family with patriotism.
Right.
So, latest thing Trump said, now Carg Island is about 8 square miles, and it is where their singular only big oil terminal is. Yeah. There's about 7 million barrels a day that normally transfer through that. It's their only deep water port. All of the other areas, seafront areas, are not deep enough to pull a super tanker in. So Carg Island is all they got.
Yep.
And they've got a pretty big facility there. And Trump has said, we have put off bombing this thing a good long while because we don't want to permanently cripple your economy. We want a leadership change there. And you turn into a good citizen and everybody will be happy.
Right.
Now Trump has said, okay, you guys really want to poke the bear? Do you really want to poke the bear? We will take over Carg Island.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be troops on the ground. That's not such a good thing, not popular in this country. But I think the Iranian leadership has recognized that this guy does not bluff. He's not a paper tiger like Obama or Biden or the whole bunch of people before him like the Bushes who talk a good game but do nothing.
Right.
Donald Trump talks a good game, and then he'll bomb you into oblivion. So my advice to you, Iranian leadership, you better listen to this guy. Or bad things are going to happen to your country. You're already bankrupt. You're already shutting in your oil wells, some of which will take many months to reproduce again. You don't just valve a well off.
Right.
So you guys have got a problem. You've got Donald J. Trump after you. If I were you, I think I'd be concerned. That's my parting shot, Dave.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me read some of these clips up here. Some of these people want to send in 573-578-2700 or
you can also reach out to us and comment on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble.
Patricia Odin, Maxwell, sounding good, looking good. Go team.
Pastor Pat,
all right.
Thank you.
Kathy Sanford Dillon, good morning and welcome back. Dave and Lisa, happy Friday. She coined that. Have a beautiful and blessed day and weekend. Love and hugs to everyone. Oh, aren't they sweet? Roy Maddox, good morning from Oklahoma.
Good morning.
Is he there at your congregation there of shooters?
Nope, he's in Oklahoma, just listening to his father-in-law rail.
All right. Well, listen, thank you once again, JJ Bradshaw.
Welcome back, Dave. I'm so happy that you're here.
Have a great weekend.
Good day to you.
Hi to Gene. All right. Take care. Okay, we're back, and I see another flicker. I think that's a person that's coming on very soon, but we got the rabbi on next. I don't know if I got to complete this or not. Rabbi Moshe is going to be on next at 8:40. Huh? He's here. Where? Oh my God, he scared me. We got Chris Adamo at 9:30. We got Richard C. Jeffrey talk about space and space, all sorts of space things happening in Missouri. And then we're ending the show with Dr. Ron Sessick. So, first of all, I'd like to welcome my friend and writer, wartime rabbi. He buys housing for IDF widows and their kids, forming communities with each other, helped by his own kids and his wife Yonit. Please welcome all the way from, I think, Israel, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. Rabbi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome back.
You did some great shows with those guys, Bill and Don.
Oh, you watched?
Thank you. Well, I watched some of it. Some of it was in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
And I got screwed up with the time changes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me a couple times.
Well, generally, yeah, you're going from Israel to the United States, generally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was. I know I've been in Hawaii before, in Vegas before, but it wasn't for a while that this happened. So it was, and Hawaii's airport is gone because of the fires and the floods and all the other things.
So
they have a new airport there.
Oh.
So it's a lot further away from where we used to get off. Anyways, so Trump says the agreement with Iran is approved, and that all parties, including Israel, does that include them too?
First of all, Iran hasn't said that. They've denied that.
Who?
Iran has denied that report. They said it has not been agreed upon.
Are you calling our president a liar?
Well, I think he's been saying this for like the last month, that we're about to sign an agreement. He said it like 30 times. Even Babylon B was making fun of him. But I haven't seen anything here in the news that, other than Donald Trump saying something, that neither Israel nor Iran has said anything. So, well, Iran has denied it.
Yeah.
Israel,
who's in Iran?
Well, whoever's speaking for them has denied it, saying it's not true. But okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
All right. So, what would Israel need to join in on this? Because there's a lot of fighting going on, and they're doing a lot of it, and they're doing a lot of the work of finding out who is in charge there, and getting rid of them, because they're bombing Israel a lot,
Look,
especially in southern Lebanon with Hezbollah.
Right. So what Israel will never agree to is that we have to give up on Lebanon. That's something Israel would never agree to, and that, and that Israel or that Iran can pursue nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Those are two red lines for Israel. Well, Donald Trump has said over and over that Iran will not be a nuclear power, but in Israel, people are starting to trust him less and less. But we'll see what happens with that front. But Israel cannot agree to allow Hezbollah to remain in southern Lebanon. So if that is part of the agreement, Israel will not. There's no way, in my opinion, that Israel would sign on such a thing.
And what's the stance of Hamas? Where are they getting their weapons from? I thought they gave up all their weapons.
No, they haven't given up their weapons. That's a big part of the problem. The ceasefire with Hamas was that after the hostages were out, stage 2 was meant to be a disarming and of Hamas, but Hamas has not given up their weapons.
Are they still shooting at you?
Yeah, look, it's not a active like war, going on, but they are on a daily basis trying to infiltrate into the IDF lines there, and there are skirmishes and stuff like that. But Israel controls like almost 60% of Gaza right now.
So what is the future for Hamas? Are we going back? Are they going to get control again? Do they still have control somewhat? They have somewhat control. So what is Israel going to do to fix the problem that they created in 2005?
Well, again, the peace board right, is supposed to be implementing this ceasefire. The next stage was that Hamas would disarm, and then there would begin a massive rebuilding, and under the guise of the peace board, which is a whole bunch of nations. And all of this was, Donald Trump's creation, this peace board, and he's himself is in charge of the peace board. So it's Gaza is not Israel. It's not a part of Israel. And Israel has no, in my opinion, international obligation to restore and to rebuild Gaza. So the peace board got donations or pledges, at least, from multiple countries, and they're supposed to be following through on this agreement that they negotiated. So
how many meetings have they had?
I don't know. They have been meeting, I know, and they have been discussing it. But as far as I know, Israel will continue to occupy 60% of Gaza, maybe expand it further, and will, keep that massive buffer to prevent Hamas from entering Israel. And they're doing everything they can to prevent Hamas from reconstituting. And that's what you read about in the news here. But as far as I'm concerned, no taxpayer money from Israel should go to rebuilding Gaza. America, I don't think, had to pay to rebuild Afghanistan after 20 years there of fighting Al Qaeda. As far as I know, I don't think they did. And so when you're the victim of an attack, why should you be responsible for what happens?
Well, that seems to be the criticism of Israel right now, is that they should just stop it because they're killing a bunch of Christians. This is the guy. I can't name his name right now, but he's saying that Israel is killing all the Christians in Beirut. That's Carlson.
Okay, so obviously that's not Gaza. Tucker Carlson's a moron, and
I know, but he's a hurtful moron, and he's putting a lot of Jews in for anything that can happen to them, death and attack all over the world.
I believe Carlson is bought and paid for by Qatar, and
why would you say that? Only because they're building a multi-million-dollar house for him in Qatar.
There's nothing anyone's going to do to shut him up. America's a free country; he could say what he wants.
Yeah.
But the reality, this week, Netanyahu sent a message to Lebanon and saying that we're not at war with the Lebanese people, we're at war with Hezbollah. And the honest truth is that we are seeing massive, massive cracks in southern Lebanon. You see the people fighting and refusing Hezbollah to enter their villages. We're seeing a lot of success in southern Lebanon right now that's not being reported in the news. And the Hezbollah, they tried to get a large rally going against the government, and a few dozen people showed up. Before October 7th, it would have been tens of thousands. Now, literally a few dozen people showed up, which is unbelievable. We're seeing, I believe, the downfall of Hezbollah in Lebanon, and hopefully will return. Lebanon's an easy country for Israel to make peace with because there's a lot of Christians there.
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
Yeah,
Lebanon Christian. They started off as a Christian country, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, until of course, the jihadis show up and they ruin the party. They did that in Bethlehem also. Bethlehem was 90% Christian. It's now 90% Muslim. It had nothing to do with Israel. It had to do with the jihadis coming into Bethlehem and making it a very dangerous place for people to live. And so the Christian Arabs left Bethlehem. They have options. They come into Israel proper. And they did that in Lebanon. But southern Lebanon, which has always been the stronghold of Hezbollah, is we've killed 7,000 of their fighters, something like that. And Lebanon is on the Hezbollah, they are on the ropes. So Israel cannot take their foot off the gas. Sure. We need to keep fighting Hezbollah there. And I think Lebanon could be a good place for Israel.
Yeah. So Slovenia, I'm not sure exactly where that is, somewhere in Europe, lifts ban on arms trade with Israel. So is that maybe a possible addition to the Abraham Accords? And where does that stand? And how hard are the Muslim Shias willing to fight against the Abraham Accords?
Well, look, a lot of the impetus for this war, the October 7th war, was because they were trying to prevent Saudi Arabia from joining the Abraham Accords. So Iran wants to be the central player in the Middle East. And Saudi Arabia, which is Sunni, Iran is Shia. So Saudi Arabia, which is Sunni, is would be a very, very good piece of the Abraham Accord puzzle. And Iran was willing to go to war over it through their proxies. So look, Slovenia is in Europe. So I've never really considered actually Abraham Accords with a European country, but they're mostly the African countries.
How about African countries?
Yeah. Right now, Morocco, they're all.
Yeah. Get everybody, for goodness sake. You take the whole world in a logical, pro-commercial, pro-capitalistic concept, and who knows?
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
All the idiot countries that don't pay any attention to their people, don't pay any attention to elections and things like that, including somewhat the United States as well. You might have to do it with states in the United States. I don't know. What's New Jersey doing these days, huh? Anyways,
I don't think Mamdani's going to sign on.
Well, you don't think he's going to hang on?
No, I said I don't think Mamdani will sign on to the Abraham Accords.
No, I don't think so. By the way, Seinfeld was at this game the other night. That was a big upset. And some guy approached him. His name is Fave, and he asked Jerry, "Can we get a free Palestine?" Seinfeld's response, he laughed and says, "It doesn't exist."
Right,
that was great. This guy has been supportive of Israel ever since this war started. And 10/7/23, and he stood up against a lot of the people who were lying about it. I mean, if you don't know what happened on 10/7/23 and you don't include it in anything else, it's a big lie, and they know it.
Right. When Seinfeld was younger, he spent time working at Kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri is like the ground zero of October 7th, where over 100 people were killed just in that place. So Seinfeld actually came and visited there, to see the destruction. So he's been a good friend, and we need more celebrities like that.
Yeah. Larry David was at the game too. I don't know. They didn't come up to him.
Yeah.
You gotta love the sense of humor that Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David have brought to the world. Okay, does it make you proud to be a Jewish comedian?
They sat next to each other at the game. It probably would have been very funny to be a fly on the wall and to hear that conversation.
Yeah. What would happen if they actually came back in the second half? My wife had me in bed and says, "I don't know, shut the TV off." And I said, "Okay, nothing's going to happen." Then I wake up the next morning and there's a 1-point victory for the Knicks.
That
Oh
happened
my God!
too. It was 3 a.m, here, and I saw the score down 29. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, going to bed. So one more game and they lost. It's going to
Yeah.
be even. How cool! Yeah,
So
whatever, right?
they still got to close them out. They got to
Yeah,
win.
but I
one
got
out
to
of
tell you something. The Mets suck
terrible.
big time, big time.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's JD? What's the problem with JD Vance on Netanyahu? Do you know? Why is he criticizing?
Well, I'm JD Vance to me is he's very worrisome. I really hope he doesn't win the presidency. I'm a much bigger fan of Marco Rubio. JD Vance to me is a bit of a wild card. His associations with Tucker Carlson, even though he did fire is it Tucker's son from his staff, but I'm very worried about JD Vance.
Well, Trump looks like he's putting Rubio and Vance in some kind of a contest with each other. He's giving them all sorts of responsibilities, and right now I would agree with that. I would agree with you on Rubio as the next president, and I don't know. What do you think?
Look, I think Rubio has more experience. He was also, because he's from a senator from Florida, that's a key state. He was popular in Florida. And the Latino vote is very big in America. And he would be the first Latino president, I think.
Yeah.
And, I like him. To me, JD Vance seems that he walks a tightrope. I feel like he could go either way. I feel like he could turn around and join the dark side. So I don't know. To me, he's more of an unknown. So I don't know if I trust him. Certainly trust him probably more than any Democrat at this point.
Well, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Nothing. It says not saying anything.
Yeah.
Wow. Who would you trust? Who is trustworthy? Even the Jews that are left in the Democratic Party. I mean, what about the guy up in, is it Michigan or Pennsylvania? Shapiro?
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
Do you think they'd ever nominate him for president?
Those days are, they're not that long ago that a guy like
I know you're thinking about.
Who was
vice president?
Yeah, I don't think they would do that anymore. Put
Yeah.
a Jew in the ticket like that. I think they would see it as a liability.
No, they actually are almost officially anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party of all people.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah.
You saw the guy from Maine that had the Nazis tattoo.
He won big time.
What's that?
He won big time in his primary.
Yeah.
He killed it.
I was in Maine this summer, and I don't know.
Yeah, and he had to take off his damn Nazi thing on his breast.
Yeah, in that 20 years he had a Nazi too.
So Israel right now is building, just started building 51 homes in Judea, Samaria. What's the significance of this?
Well, Judea and Samaria is what the world calls the West Bank, even though it's the oldest Jewish community in the world. Judea, that's where Jews are from originally. That's why it's called Judea.
Wait a minute. Is that really true? It's named Judea. About when did this happen?
Around 4,000 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
When Arabs are from Arabia, see how that works?
Yeah. Arab.
Judea. Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula is where Arabs are from. So they're not native to this country. They're native to Arabia. This is our native homeland, and Judea and Samaria is the most authentic Jewish area in the whole world. And so the fact that people will go crazy that when Israel will build there is is an insanity. It's just a lack of knowledge of the Bible
Well,
or history or both.
who renamed it the West Bank? That's what I want to know.
That was a modern invention in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
60 years of the Jordanians are calling it the West Bank because they're looking at it from Jordan. It's west of Jordan. It's not. It's the eastern part of Israel. It's not the West Bank. They look at it from the country of Jordan as if it's the west bank of the Jordan River. So that's not a biblical term. It's a made-up term, and the actual term is Judea and Samaria.
All right. So I've got this guy coming on the show, and he was I don't know. I want to know if you know this guy. His name is. Be right there. Dr. Ron Susk. Does that ring a bell?
Nope.
He's a big minister in here, but he does a lot of foreign stuff, and I just wondered if you knew him.
Is he Israeli?
No, he's. I think he's American, and he's a big minister, but he's also evangelist.
Okay,
you know a lot of the evangelist people. What's the difference between the evangelist minister and other ministers?
Is this a joke?
No, it's not a joke. We'll get to that. God. Okay, I'm moving along here.
Punchline.
What?
I thought there was going to be a punchline.
What'd you say? Did
I
you
thought
call me a slime?
I thought there was going to be a punchline to that question.
Oh, punchline. Okay, well, we'll work on that right now. This man is the author of The Secrets of the Hebrew Bible. JP is holding it up. Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people contribute and buy your book?
They can go to my website that is on your screen called The Secrets of the Hebrew-Bible.org. Or they go to it's now up on your screen is our website. IsraelAlliance.org or Facebook.com/Israel Alliance. We would love to hear from you.
I have advice. I don't have a joke, but here's the advice. Being dumbfounded is the first step to losing stupidity. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. There you go.
Was that wisdom or was that a joke?
It was wisdom with a little bit of a joke in there. You know, when you're dumbfounded, you get shocked. It's like the war, you know, the 10-7 thing. You get shocked, and you lost your stupidity about that. Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? Or the ignorance of the fact that this could happen.
Okay, well, when's the next calendar coming out, Dave? I think you got to get back to those.
I don't think we're going to see that. I'm too busy doing other stuff, and too busy trying to. This show is it for me because I do a lot of prep work all week long, and then I crash. I almost am more Jewish this way because usually on Saturdays I'm sleeping. Okay, so I'm becoming more and more of a Jew. All right. Is that right, honey? Do you think?
Okay.
Okay. Speaking to there. Golly.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
There you
We'll
go.
with that.
She doesn't know what that is, but okay.
No.
I do a little bit, and it's too
And
bad.
I
You know,
do know you too.
if I was in Israel, I'd probably be doing some of the same stuff you're doing. But I'm not. I grew up as a Jewish kid who didn't understand his own religion, as a lot of people do by being shipped over to, you know, Russia and Poland and things like that. Mine were in the Ukraine,
Right.
Odessa. So, all right. Anyways, always great to. Huh? Go ahead.
No, maybe it's time for another visit here.
All right. Well, let me know. Okay, you're always welcome in our house.
No, it's a time for you to visit here.
Oh, you're. Are you getting back to guiding?
If you come, I will. There's no one to guide.
You're gonna keep me. You gonna keep me safe and not obey me when I say, "Hey, let's go to this Muslim area here," like I did before.
You can do a broadcast from Israel.
Well, yeah. Did anybody there know the technique into doing that? Maybe JP wants to come.
Say, if you need a bodyguard / producer, then
Damn it, I need that all the time. I need that.
Well, I do know how to use StreamYard, so I could help you out if you come.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Hi to the family.
You got
Shalom, my friend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear it for Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. Yeah. And we got some commercials to do, don't we? For God's sakes. All right. Let's do a commercials. And if you want to sponsor the show, 573-578-2700 or.
Well, you can reach us by comment on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Facebook is currently down right now. There's a widespread, Facebook outage across the board. So it's still showing the show is live, but you can't get to the live video. So we recommend definitely X, YouTube, and Rumble for today. Unless Facebook
all my advertising on Facebook is gone. We seem to be having decent numbers, though.
Yeah, I think that's more from X and all them, but
all
hopefully
right.
Facebook is still saying it's live. So I think when it comes back up, we'll still be on. It's just that right now nobody can access it on there. But
okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper Fresh Savings every day. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Bob Willis, an author and a writer, and I write nature books. I live here in a ranch on the Ozarks and have published many books over 2 decades of writing. The Trout Adventure series of books was about traveling the world with a camera and a fly rod. The Last Buffalo in Kansas is a true story about one family's journey through 100 years of American history. A couple of years ago, I decided to write a children's nature series of books. 2 of those books have been published. The Adventures of Dog is a story about a puppy that grows up on a ranch in the Ozarks and has fabulous adventures. The Adventures of the Cats R Us Gang is about a group of cats that band together to protect the ranch from a dastardly group of raccoons. Wonderful stories for children, wholesome, about nature and the Ozarks. They're available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and in Walmart even. They're available locally at Reader's Depot. Hey, take a look at them. Thanks a lot.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, we're back, and you know what? I wanted to wear this hat. My wife is not in the studio right now, but we went by a store. I think it was in Las Vegas, and she says I want to get a hat. So we're looking for hats for her, and then we decided, well, that's going to be too big to take it on the plane because all those were big, wide hats for women. So she says, I think you need to get a couple of hats yourself. And I'm wearing one right now. And, I got a few of these at home, but I haven't bought a hat in years, literally, maybe decades. And here I am with this hat, and I got 2 others. And I don't like to wear hats on the show because I show darkness in my eyes. I don't want to show any darkness in my eyes for sure. So I just wanted you to see this hat. And I want to play a couple more clips from Glenn Beck because you're going to find this fascinating. Some of this is true and coming out true. I don't know how serious it is. I don't know what they can do to figure it out. But somewhere somebody's got to restructure Europe or they're all going down. Hit it.
Collapse in their tax revenue from their corporations. Now, you can fake growth statistics. You can, message inflation numbers. You can even redefine unemployment. But tax receipts, you can't fake those. When businesses stop making money, your taxes that the companies are paying goes way down. And I mean way down. I would think 40%, 30% would be way down. 80% is a bloodbath. Tax revenue is the pulse of the real economy. This is Germany. This is Florida and Texas combined for Europe. Industrial production in Germany has fallen by more than 15% from pre-2020 levels. These aren't COVID levels. This is pre-2020, 15%. Energy-intensive industries are crushed right now. German chemical production is down roughly 20%. Some sectors are down 30%. BASF, That's one of the largest chemical companies in the world. They are permanently downsizing in Germany and moving their investment to China and the United States. Good for us, bad for them. Now, think about how insane that is. Germany built one of the greatest industrial systems in all of human history. Then German leaders made energy too expensive to sustain it. The electricity prices in Germany for the industry exploded after the loss of Russian gas. Okay, some factories saw the cost of energy double or triple. In 2025 alone, 100,000 German businesses closed. Think about that. If I said to you 100,000 businesses in Florida closed down, 100,000 businesses in Texas closed down in 1 year, would you think that would be a good thing? Or would that be just that number would be, good God, what's happening to Texas? Add 80% tax revenue, a decrease of 80% in 1 month. I think we would be panicking. Yeah, and we should be.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to be doing something special here. Let's see what happens. And we got a reel coming on, and it's going to be really, really amazing. What happened?
Facebook's down, so it's not going to work. It's a Facebook reel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
that kills you. All right, well, let's do some more talking. What are you going to do? You know, it's live. You can't postpone it and then come back. You know, it doesn't go round and round like other things do.
And this is proof. Live show. I mean, we're doing a real
we're
life
live
situation.
show. We're live. We should be grateful for being alive. Everybody who can listen to this show, just say one thing: I'm alive and I'm happy. And I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to try to work out my problems, get through all my difficulties, and try to still put a smile on my face and a smile on the faces of people I talk to. And I think that's a pretty good prayer for everybody. And let God guide you.
Now, the one that will work,
because
it's on YouTube, is a Matthew McConaughey clip, and I can get that going.
Go ahead and get that, because that's kind of a preachful kind of thing too. So let's do that one. Here we
go. I got to make sure I can go where I can. I got to share the screen here in a second. I'm going to get it queued up in the right spot.
There you go. I see it.
All right. So now we're going to go back to share our screen.
There we go. You're watching this technical side right here.
There's a few things, about 3 things to my account that I need each day. One of them is something to look up to, another is something to look forward to, and another is someone to chase. Now, first off, I want to thank God, because that's who I look up to. He's graced my life with opportunities that I know are not of my hand or any other human hand. He has shown me that it's a scientific fact that gratitude reciprocates. In the words of the late Charlie Lawton, who said, when you got God, you got a friend, and that friend is you. To my family, that's who and what I look forward to. To my father, who I know is up there right now with a big pot of gumbo. He's got a lemon meringue pie over there. He's probably in his underwear, and he's got a cold can of Miller Lite, and he's dancing right now. To you, Dad, you taught me what it means to be a man. To my mother, who's here tonight, who taught me and my 2 older brothers, demanded that we respect ourselves. To my wife, Camilla, and my kids, Levi, Vita, and Mr. Stone, the courage and significance you give me every day I go out the door is unparalleled. You are the 4 people in my life that I want to make the most proud of me. Thank you. And to my hero, That's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know. I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero is always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not. And that's just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing.
Now, am I on? Okay. That was 2014 when he gave that speech, and I just ran across it. I think, did you send that to me, Lisa?
No.
I forget who sent it to me, but that's the kind of stuff I like. I like that kind of thinking, and I like to think that I've been putting this together since I was a little kid. That I wanted to be, I wanted to do all the right things, and I wasn't guided very well. I wasn't guided very well in school, so I mean, I wasn't abused. But I was not. I was calculated to be stupid. My parents called me stupid, so I figured, okay, I'm stupid. I can't get good grades, and so why do that? So I got into a lot of street fights, and I went to a lot of sports. My father was a great baseball coach, and we won some championships, which was helpful. But I was up and down, and I went and played football. And stupid as it seemed, like I was 150, no, I was 101 pounds, and I was 5'1" when I first went out. And we had Evanston Township High School is a hell of a football school. They have sent more pros to the NFL than anybody in the country, I believe. And we had what's considered to be the most winningest coach in football, and that was oh God, I can't remember his name now. Anyways, I'll get to that. But it was such that we kind of know each other, and his son played too, and there was a couple coaches didn't like me. His name was Lazier, Murney Lazier, by the way, and so the coach liked me, but there was two other coaches who hated me, and I wasn't sure why. I just wasn't sure, and apparently they're the ones that kept me on fifth string when I was a senior. And I was going to quit because of that. I said, what the hell am I doing out here, right? I've been playing for almost 4 years, and I've broken 5 helmets on hitting people. 5 of these helmets were pretty. That was quite an achievement, quite frankly. And I hurt some people too out there, and I hurt their feelings too because they were so big, and I knocked them down. And the coaches would give them hell, not me. But I learned one thing when the coach assigned us to have challenges in the middle of the season. Suddenly we're doing challenges with the guys in front of us. So here I was, fifth string, the lowest string you can be, and something happened that day. There was a miracle that took place, and I beat every guy in that challenge, and something happened. I don't know what happened. I have no idea how I did that. None. But I've learned it later, and the later is to get off. You don't have to be the fastest guy. You have to be the guy that's going to be able to explode off the ball. And I was that. So I beat these guys to the place, and instead of hitting them up like they want you to today, I hit them low. I knocked them down and got them way off balance to where I could actually manipulate them. So I learned that, and that's something that well, let's put it this way: I was in third place after the challenges, which really pissed me off. The next day, I asked the coach what happened, and he says, "Well, you didn't weight train religiously enough." So I'm third string. I'm gonna say I was so pissed off I was gonna quit again, and then woke up the next morning and says, you got practice today, and at third string you're now playing against these guys every single play. So you really want to prove yourself. If you're gonna go out with a flair. And I was determined to beat the hell out of every one of them. It was bloody, it was ugly, and I did it. Coach put me on first string, and I played in the games. It was really odd, and I did great. Every once in a while, he'd throw me into positions I never played before, like defensive lineman. And I did great until they doubled me. You got two 300-pound guys on you, and I was a 151 then, and yeah, they took me down that one time, but I also got a sack. I sacked the guys, and it took them 600 pounds to beat up on a 151 guy. They were open somewhere, I'm pretty sure. So that's even doing your job. So what did you want to say?
Facebook is operational now.
Yeah.
Oh, goody. Yeah, let's play that.
We're going to try to play this clip here about Trump and Trump on Carlson, and hopefully it works. So we're going to.
All right, let's do it.
To be that high, I just think right now with what's going on, is this what's this, Rob? Is this an AI video?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. This is the AI. This is what they're claiming happened. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this video or not.
I have not.
This is an AI video saying that Trump played Tucker to take out the leaders of Iran. Now, again, keep in mind, guys, they're making fun, so it's not like it's an AI video. Go ahead, Rob.
Tucker, I want you to come to the White House. Believe me.
Me? I mean, sure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Qatar Airlines.
That's so
funny with a Ted Bear.
I'm just bluffing with Iran, It's the art of the deal, baby. The art of the deal.
Okay, yeah, President Trump is just bluffing. You guys are totally safe.
Is it possible?
That actually kind of happened. Okay, I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems like it might be. And with that, I have my next guest waiting, and he's pissed off about a lot of stuff. He's an Italian. He's a pizza-loving author. He went from California to Wyoming to Missouri. He's a staunch anti-Marxist, anti-communist, and he's a friend of mine, and his name is Chris Adamo. Let's hear it for Chris. Did I get anything wrong there?
No, you got things pretty right, except I'm also a staunch anti-Islamist, and I want to stress that this morning.
Okay, let's stretch. Go ahead. Let's do it.
So,
what's going on? First of all, what's going on in Wyoming?
Well,
Darcy Gudger and Joanne True and Brad Cundy, and what do they mean to people in Wyoming?
Well, let's see. I'm going to have to, at the moment, I have to go back and look about Brad. I'm not sure, but Darcy Gudger is a very, very staunch Christian conservative at the grassroots. She's outspoken, and she's confronting the rhinos. And every real conservative in Wyoming is confronting the rhinos. The rhinos,
people need to understand. I've had some major conversations with people who should have known better this week that didn't. But the rhinos have dominated Wyoming for decades. Okay, now Wyoming, the population is more Republican than any other state in the country. And they literally gave 80% to President Trump in every time he ran the last 3 elections. and so the Wyoming people are very conservative. So in Wyoming, the political machine figured out, well, you can't get up there and be Democrats and still win here. So you got to say you're Republican. So Wyoming has the worst infestation of rhinos of any state in the country, even more so than California and New York, because if you're in those states, you call yourself a Republican, you're going to have to stand for something, okay? Because you're going against the tide just by saying you're Republican. In Wyoming, that's how you get into the weeds with the Democrats. And so the rhinos have played these games for years. And I'll just give you an example. The whole big illegal immigration thing was pushed through in the 1980s. The bill was Simpson-Mazzoli. Mazzoli's a Democrat. I forget where he is from, but he's a Democrat senator. Simpson was Alan Simpson of Wyoming.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was the epitome of a Wyoming Republican. And here he is. And it was a scam. They scammed Reagan. They said, look, if you give amnesty to the ones that are here, then we'll secure the border. Well, they lied through their stinking, seditious teeth when they said that. They got Reagan to sign the bill, so all of a sudden all these illegals had amnesty. They could all vote and everything. The country shifted left, and they never secured the border, and that was part of the plan. And that's we've been dealing with that ever since. So that was a Wyoming rhino that did that. Now,
why did Simpson do that? Do you have any idea? Was he paid off?
Simpson was a liberal. I fought with him. He literally hated my guts. I fought with him for years in Wyoming because he referred to the Christian conservatives, and I quote you, as a blight on the Republican Party. Wow. He said our goal was to rule or ruin the party. Okay, now here's a rhino who's buddy with Ted Kennedy, who's buddy with Mazzoli as they betrayed us on the border, but he's a Republican, and the Wyoming Republican Party back then, it was full of Cheney and Bush Republicans. And they were fine with that. And the common citizen in Wyoming, the common citizens were guilty of this much. It's like it's a Republican state. We ought to be safe from all the leftist lunacy here. So if they leave the Second Amendment alone and they don't try and institute a state income tax, we're going to just let them do what they want. And that it took a long time for the common citizens to wake up. It was really like the Liz Cheney situation where the average citizen said, wait a minute, they aren't representing us. And at that point, that was 2020. At that point, the conservatives actually began to really gain traction in Wyoming. And right now there's a big fight between the real conservatives and the rhinos. There was another family, by the way, they ran the Wyoming Republican Party. That was the True family, Deemer True. I'll never forget it when they conduct a Republican meeting, a state meeting, and I attended some of them. And people on the floor, all the delegates, they're supposed to be they're supposed to be representing their local jurisdictions. And they'd say, well, we're going to do things this way. Is that right, Deemer? And Deemer True would sit up there and he'd either nod or shake his head. Yeah, you could do it that way, or no, you can't. And that's how the Wyoming Republican Party was run for years. And so Joanne True is one of that crowd. Now, in all fairness, there are some of the True family who are actual real Christians and real conservatives, and they don't go along with that. But it's kind of like our RFK Jr. there that Trump is using for the cabinet member, and he's doing a good job. Yeah, and he's a Kennedy, and so not all the Trues are like the old guard. But the whole point.
Well, allegedly, he's hated by his family now.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure that the True family members who are actual Christians and conservatives there in Wyoming, I'm sure they are detested by the old guard True crowd, because for them, and Joanne True is one of them, it's all about them being at the helm and controlling things, claiming to be Republican, claiming to be conservative, but they're circulating everything in such a way that the money comes back to them. And there's a lot of big money right now going into Wyoming for several reasons. Number one, it's a low population state, and so you can actually buy influence there at a much lower cost than elsewhere in the country. Yeah. But here's the big thing. Here's the key thing. The Wyoming is the first state, for the same reason that it's a low population state, that the grassroots have realized what a voice they have. If they speak up, literally, the population of the state is such that if you speak up and you go to a few different towns, you can gain influence in the state. This is how Darcy Gudger has she's a great conservative, how she's made a name for herself with the conservatives, and she's made herself a target of the old rhino establishment. Okay, but here's the key to the whole situation. The outside forces, literally up to the Soros crowd nationwide, the Never Trump crowd, many of whom are Republicans. We can go down a list of names there, and I'd like to talk about some of them later. But they see Wyoming as the possible breaking of the dam. If the grassroots conservatives in Wyoming can actually fully overtake the rhinos and then go in and fix things like the leftist indoctrination in the school system, like the revolving door of tax money into special interest pockets. If they can actually do that in Wyoming and do it specifically by booting the rhinos, it could be the dam breaking for this going on across the country. It could be the dominoes starting to fall. Wyoming's got a rhino governor right now. They have rhinos have maintained their power in the Senate. The state house is overwhelmingly conservative, Freedom Caucus, and the Freedom Caucus, good conservatives, they are being just absolutely tarred and feathered in the public media and everything in order to marginalize them. Textbook Alinsky, make them the bad guys, make the average citizen assume that they're evil, just like what's being done to Israel right now. We can talk about that in a minute. But this, you see what I'm saying? This is ground zero for a battle between real conservatives and the rhinos, who are basically the Democrat machine with a different face on.
Okay, so ballots were found stuffed in a library safe after the California elections. And let's talk a little bit about California, because you had a Supreme Court now say, it's supposed to be 1 day election, except for some minor discords with people who are in the Army and Navy and all that stuff. So what's your thoughts on this? Can now this be recalculated and redone in California and investigated and find out about all the cheating?
It absolutely needs to be done. Now, I've heard even some conservatives, some of them being, again, rhinos, and others who are naive and maybe well-meaning, saying, well, gee, we don't want the federal government interfering with state-level elections. Well, that can be taken way too far, okay? Because if we are a United States of America, we can't have certain states where you have honest representation of the people, one vote, one person, election day, and have other states where you have third world tin horn dictators coming in and performing mock elections in order to gain power. This would be no different.
What that decision was about is that you can't do this. You gotta have 1 day, one elections, even if it's a local election.
Are we or are we not the United States of America?
Federal thing,
Are we or are we not the United States of America?
Well, is there not? Isn't there a First Amendment where it says that your votes must count?
I don't think that's actually the First Amendment, but the idea that the election, there's two ways of keeping your vote from counting, Dave. There's two ways. One way is for the old days Democrats, where they would stand at the polls with guns and say, no, you're not allowed to come here and vote. Okay. The other way
was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah. The other way of doing it, though, is so you show up and you cast your vote, and I show up and I stuff the ballot box with fake votes. Okay. Now, at that point, I've negated your vote. So I don't care if you actually put a ballot in the box, you didn't get to vote. Okay. The election is about determining the will of the people. And again, if we don't do this on a consistent basis, coast to coast, You know, if we bring in, what's his name from Venezuela, Hugo Chavez or whoever, we bring them in and say, well, he's now the governor of California. They can conduct California however they want. We're going to bring Fidel Castro into Florida. Okay, we don't have a United States. At that point, we are being broken down and fractured as a nation. And this, by the way, is the plan.
Yeah, I believe that. And we got to stop that crap. This is
absolutely.
No longer getting people who've been dead for 40 years or whatever, and somehow having them vote. No, something has to be done about this.
Something has to be done.
Yesterday.
Key to this is just exactly what you said. Something has to be done. Step one, and maybe I'll get JP to hold up my book. Step one is we've got to call it as it is. Thank you, JP. Appreciate it. Okay. They teach us to not call it as it is. You remember how angry I was in 2020 after the election when we saw all the fraud and the left was saying, you remember what they call it? The most secure election in American history.
Yeah.
And after about a week of that, our side, we weren't calling it a stolen election. We all saw it get stolen. We watched it. We saw the cheating. We saw the windows get boarded up. You don't board up windows in an honest election. We saw that. And yet after a week, our side was saying possible voting irregularities. Remember how I harped on that?
Their side were saying you can't lie about this election. It was the best election that we ever had.
They speak that absolute lie with total certitude.
They say that on media. They say that as journalists.
And in response, our side said, well, I don't want to sound like I'm too radical, so I'll say possible voting irregularities. I'll tiptoe around while they're out there stomping all over the Constitution. Okay, and this is key to every one of these situations, to the Wyoming rhino situation, to the California election situation. The key is our side calling it out as it really is and not letting them intimidate us from speaking the truth.
Remember that interview with 60 Minutes with Leslie, whatever her last name is, on 60 Minutes, and with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's talking about this, and she says, I can't let you go on with this. This is a lie. This is terrible. He says, you're wrong. This is the truth. This is what happened. And where is she today? She's still working.
Yeah, well, people are still listening. There was that other one with, what's her name, Welker, this last week where she was interviewing Trump. And she's not interviewing to find out information. She's interviewing to make a point. And I don't know if you saw the post where they showed a sequence of pictures of her as the interview went on. By the end, she looks like she's demon possessed. I mean, but the thing is, and good for Trump. He gets up and says, we're done with this. And he walks out on her. Good for him. He's wasting his time. He's casting his pearls before swine to try and sit there and convince her because she doesn't want the truth. And this is what we need to do. And of course, in every situation, the left tries to get on his phony moral high ground. Oh, well, he just couldn't handle the heat. No, he's not going to waste time trying to convince a liar.
And yet, this guy is the most available president we've ever had to who? The press. And these few rotten ones out there who are just political hacks, they're not journalists.
Exactly.
He calls them out.
Yeah.
But he always brings the press into his administration, into his meetings, whatever he has going. If the press want to come in, they have. Do we have that in Biden, for God's sakes?
Well, Biden didn't even know what room he was in on any given occasion. And again, they would flatly tell you Biden is like the most erudite, coherent president we've ever had. And the poor guy was he was already in the phases of dementia.
Yeah.
And but yet if they assert it that positively, I had arguments with personal friends. Well, you need to call him President Biden to show respect for the office.
Yeah, I got to meet Biden once and shook his hand. He says, "Glad dementia." What do you know?
Okay, that was one of your better ones. All right,
bastards. I just made that up. Bum. So what do you know?
What do you know from funny young
Oh, here we go.
Not you. It's not meant for you. It's meant for other people. Don't cry.
There's been such a change with this because I remember if you look at President Trump's first term and his press secretary then, was it McKinney? I was trying to remember her last name. Caitlin McKinney or whatever it was.
Kayleigh McEnany.
McConaughey. Okay,
She never used notes.
Yeah.
It was just boom off the top of her head. She knew the information. Trump, same way.
She's
the
a big
second
star
term,
now.
Love it. When she was press secretary
Yeah.
before she had to, leave on maternity leave, same
Yeah.
thing. No notes, just handling stuff right
Yeah.
there on the spot. Same thing with Trump, whereas Biden would stand there and couldn't read off a piece of paper.
No, it's
and then
so
Psaki
obvious.
got known for being the circle back girl because I thought I got to circle back on that one. She had no answers to anything.
Well, that was the third. That was the third Obama administration. That's all that
and
was.
it should be characterized exactly that way. It was the Biden-Obama administration. It was fraudulent because they stole the election 2020. And I'll tell you again, my message is always going to go back to this. It's always going to circle back, JP. It's always going to circle back to the fact that when they did these things, they count on us not having the guts to actually call them out and stand against it. We get mad. And then they say, well, you're just being extreme. You're just angry. You're just hateful or a bigot or whatever. And we back down. That's what they count on.
JP's got something to say.
If you want to do a little playback, Chris, since you mentioned the circle back thing.
Oh, I was kidding.
We put some stuff together.
No, it's good.
This is from Jen Psaki as the press secretary under Biden. It's going to take it just a second here. It's going to load up and.
I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you, but I'll circle back if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back before we can circle back. I'm happy to circle back before I can circle back. I will have to circle back on that.
That's
one.
painful.
Circle back.
That's all she ever said. I got to circle back.
Yeah.
How to circle back.
Well, we've got to try and figure out how to lie our way out of this one because I'm going to contradict the last lie I told. And leftists, they don't have a problem with that. The thing that we don't understand, it's like, and I'm still seeing this again with our side. It's like, well, they shut us down with you're a hypocrite. If I didn't get things right, I need to fix it. Well, you call them a hypocrite. It means nothing. They don't care. They have no shame. They have an agenda, and they intend to win by any means. And what you're seeing in California is how that plays out. Now, there is one key here. And let's look across the ocean to England and Ireland, the things that have been going on there this week, that we have a Second Amendment. And I'm telling you, if we didn't have a Second Amendment, you look at the things that they've tried to do in the last 15, 20 years. If we didn't have a Second Amendment, try and imagine where we would be with Obama's fundamentally transforming America.
Well, we're there. We were there with the 1-6ers. We threw these people in jail for no reason.
Absolutely.
There was a reason. There was a political reason because they
were political prisoners.
They didn't do anything. This BS.
No. This was the American gulag, and be honest with you, that still hasn't been properly dealt with. Yeah. And until every guilty party involved with that is actually in jail where they deserve to be. It's a little bit like the people trying to find a peaceful solution with the IRGC over in Iran. If those people remain in place, if those mullahs and those Islamist monsters and murderers and rapists, if they remain in place, any deal that we come to, if it leaves them in place, all you're doing is letting the cancer sit and regroup, and it's going to reassert itself at its first opportunity.
And them, they're all crying. They're all crying, stop the war, it's awful, it's terrible, it's bull. And people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
And Thomas Massey, Republican Thomas Massey.
Well, I'm talking about people that wanted them stopped.
Yeah.
And this guy named Kent, Joe Kent or Kemp, saying one year that they got to be stopped, and then when Trump destroys their first load of atomic bombs, he suddenly turns and said, "That's horrible! What a horrible thing to do! That's an Israel-run thing."
I'll give you an example. A very similar thing was the Republican Congress, Republican Senate took, I believe it was 24 votes to repeal Obamacare when Obama was president.
Yeah.
They take a vote, they send out fundraising letters. Okay. And then the minute Trump gets in office, they won't take a vote because now it'll really count for something. So yeah, you can say things if they make you look good. Quite honestly, don't get excited, Dave, but there's a lot of American Jews who are liberal, and people like
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you know that?
I know. Now I'm an anti-Semite, right? Now I'm an
my
anti-Semite.
God!
But people like Hillary can pander to them by claiming to support Israel when it doesn't count. The moment we actually have to do something, then they're on the other side of it. And this is what you saw from that guy you were just mentioning. This is how they operate. Is as long as it doesn't matter, as long as nothing comes of it, they can sound good saying this. The minute it actually matters, they're actually all in bed with Obama, who I'm absolutely convinced is a Muslim. Everything about him was pro-Islamist and anti-Christian, anti-Israel, anti-Western civilization.
So, he was placed there for a reason, and he was placed there to destroy America.
Yep.
To make it something else other than it was meant to be.
And he actually said so. He said he was going to fundamentally transform it, and he did his best.
He did his best. And now, you know what? We know about it now.
Right, but we're still picking up the pieces, but we've got to
recognize, for a long time.
Like California, we've got to recognize that us simply getting upset about this is not going to fix things. We've got to go in and we've got to actually deal with the corruption, and we've got to do it forcibly and decisively to where everybody who's engaged in corrupt anti-American behavior to upend elections, to upend America, to divide the country, those people need to be dealt with. They are the enemy.
Right now,
the enemy underlying.
The Supreme Court is backing our stand up.
I hope so.
Stand up. They are, and let's go after them. They're going to have a lot of district judges and other judges who are going to contradict the Supreme Court, but you cannot overwhelm them. You have to go after these guys and after them hard. It's probably why I'm saying, Trump 28. It's going to take a while.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Well, I'm feeling the heat from my back here. Okay. I have Donald Trump. He's watching every show. Look at him, and he doesn't want me to say anything that he hasn't told me. You see, so he's back there whispering into my ear. Dave, you can't tell him that. You can't. No, it's not 28. We're not gonna do 28. But I think that would be a solution.
We've got to do something. They have been radical. They have colored outside the lines. They've actually rampaged. I always say they rampage like vandals with spray paint, but they demand we color inside the lines. We've got to recognize that we can either be nice and have them believe we're reasonable people as we are marched off into a total destruction of America, total despotism. And I mean that literally, total despotism. Or we're going to have to say, this is our Lexington moment. You're not going any further. And are you aware now that of what they just found out on the National Mall there, where they went out with
86
right? That was a flagrant flagrant threat of assassination against Donald Trump. Now we need to find out who did it, who actually went out there and did it, but also I guarantee you there's a huge network, including people in public office, who facilitated it, who enabled it, who turned the other way while these people went out there and did that. Okay. Find every one of those people. They're complicit in a direct threat against the president. Right. They need to go to jail, every last one of them. And any news person who defends them is putting themselves on the same side as the would-be assassins. And they need to go too. And that's the violation of the First Amendment. That's saying we are not going to have open criminality accepted in this country.
Yeah, let's go with Comey first. That would be interesting.
That needs to happen. The fact that he's still on the street is a travesty.
And he did it, and he thinks it's funny. Well, let's see how funny he thinks when he is. He has been indicted, hasn't he?
I mean, last I heard, but there's always a federal judge leftist somewhere to somehow come up with a way of saying, well, no, you can't indict him, or that was done. But you didn't dot every I and cross every T properly in the indictment, and so you
got to keep on fighting until it gets to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court laid it out.
Right, and don't kid yourself. The plan is that the moment that the Democrats get a majority in the House and Senate, the plan is to stack the Supreme Court, so you have a bunch of communists in there too.
This is what I'm saying. That they're fighting us. Okay, they're waging war on us, and anything less than a proper response. On December 6, 1941, we could have assumed we might negotiate with Japan. By December 8th, we knew that was out of the realm of possibility. And this is where we're at with the left right now.
Tell me about Liberty's place for you, Wyoming.
Okay, I'm just learning about them. They are, again, the number one thing that I know about that organization, along with several others there, is if the rhino establishment hates them, and like I said, you got to understand, in Wyoming, and your governor, Mark Gordon, a former Democrat, he comes to Wyoming, declares himself a Republican. The corrupt Republican machine in the state says, hey, he'll keep things going in the proper direction, which is to the left. So they make him the Republican nominee. He's the governor. Okay. And people are just waking up to how bad this situation is. But this crowd hates that organization. And so the fact that they hate it, what you've got is a bunch of grassroots conservatives who are speaking the truth, and liars and leftists, whether they call themselves Democrats or whether they call themselves Republicans, liars and leftists, their greatest enemy is the truth itself.
All right, listen, I got to get going. I got another commercial I got to run. Rules for Defeating Radicals. That's the book. Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you? Buy the book?
It's still available at Amazon. You just go there. You can either use the link right there, or you can just go and do a search on my name or on Rules for Defeating Radicals. And I'm telling you, it sounds a little bit self-serving, but I'm sincere about this. Our side has got to learn how to stop just fighting on the defensive and how to fight an offensive fight against a real enemy. And that's how to do it.
All right. Why do finishing schools admit losers? I never understood it.
I'm going to just gloss over the answer.
You're going to gloss over. Okay, Mr. Gloss Over. Thank you so much. He just obliterated you on my screen. There you are. All right. You have a great weekend, okay?
You too, Dave.
Bye to the wife.
Keep it going. We appreciate your patriotism and your fight.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend. Commercials. We got to do commercials.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word? But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up. So, you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Rob Willis, an author and a writer, and I write nature books. I live here in a ranch on the Ozarks and have published many books over 2 decades of writing. The Fount of Interest series of books was about traveling the world with a camera and a fly rod. The Last Buffalo in Kansas is a true story about one family's journey through 100 years of American history. A couple of years ago, I decided to write a children's nature series of books. 2 of those books have been published. The Adventures of Dog is a story about a puppy that grows up on a ranch in the Ozarks and has fabulous adventures. The Adventures of the Cats R Us Gang is about a group of cats that band together to protect the ranch from a dastardly group of raccoons. Wonderful stories for children, wholesome, about nature and the Ozarks. They're available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and in Walmart even. They're available locally at Reader's Depot. Hey, take a look at them. Thanks a lot.
At Town & Country Bank, we are committed to providing exceptional service to our customers. We do more than just provide loans for our community. We help make dreams become reality. Whether it's a new home, farm, business, or a new car, we would love the opportunity to help. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly lending team remind you how special hometown banking can be. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Okay, my next guest is on, I think. There he is. His head, anyways. Uh-oh, look at him. Listen, this guy's a really spacey guy. I gotta tell you, he's fading into bricks. Oh my God, look at that. He's a writer. He had family at Hill 51. A daughter who photoed a spaceship almost in their backyard, then forgot she had it. He is a believer of time travel. Please welcome, all the way from Illinois, Richard C. Jeffrey. Good morning. Hold on, I can't hear you. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can't hear him. All right.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
To his phone.
Huh?
I'm on the phone.
To who? Oh, Richard, you got to call us in again. Call us in again.
Okay, sure.
It was like yesterday when I was trying to answer the phone.
call David Weinbaum.
He's swearing at us now. I know he is. This is terrible. This man he's swearing at us. There he is. Well, hello. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Speak up. You gotta have a speakerphone there.
It's on. Can you hear me?
I can hear him, but it's not coming through the phone.
Hello?
Hello.
I can hear him there. It's something to do with my phone, isn't it?
Well, you can just plug this in. It works fine.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. How about you put this up to my ear or something? How's
Should
that?
Should I turn up my computer?
Turn it up. Turn up the volume.
Let's see if that works.
He's got it.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't care what he said about you. You're a pretty smart guy.
All
right, we're here. Okay. So you discovered many space alien episodes in Missouri.
I did.
Am I not alone?
I don't believe so. I mean, if you live in Missouri, chances are you've seen something strange in the sky, or you know what somebody who has.
Yeah.
Because even one time you saw a cigar-shaped UFO.
Yeah.
Was it in Missouri?
It was in Rowland, Missouri. 1981 or 82.
Briefly describe it. Was it very long?
Well, let me tell you, it was in the middle of the day. I was walking into my then house. Was a duplex. And I just felt something behind me. And it was bright out. It was sunny. There was all sorts of things blowing in the wind. Little haze stacks and stuff like that. And I looked up. And this huge thing couldn't have been any more than about 100 yards up. And maybe a couple hundred yards away from me. And it was just sitting there in the air. And apparently looking at me, I was frantic to find somebody else that saw this. No one was around me. And it just sat there for a good minute and a half. And I'm looking at it, and I assume it was looking at me. And then all of a sudden, like this, it was gone. Yeah. And no sound, no engine, no nothing. It was a big silver thing with the sun reflecting it and all that stuff around it. And oh my gosh.
Don't feel all alone.
Well,
because a lot of people in Missouri have had experiences like that one.
Why Missouri?
Well,
what is there about Missouri that makes us so attractive to space aliens?
Well, I'm gonna talk about that in a bit, but I think it's the Ozarks.
The Ozarks?
Yeah, and there's a whole series of underground chambers under the Ozarks.
Yeah,
and caves, and I think that provides UFOs with a place to hide. And maybe even to base. So I think
there isn't that all over the country?
Well, there's various places where that's possible for them. There's a series of tunnels out west in Nevada. There's offshore places under the sea that they've used, but they want to stay out of human view as much as they can.
Why?
Well, the thing is that they're watching us, protecting us, and working alongside us to create a better future.
Who's that? Hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay. Well, anyway, the last time I was on the show, I was talking about the 1943 crash near Cape Girardeau. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's Rush Limbaugh's hometown.
Yeah.
And I find that one to be very, very interesting because it happened 6 years before the more famous Roswell crash.
Okay.
So the one in Cape Girardeau happened in 1941.
Yeah.
But the Roswell crash happened in 47. So,
okay.
Things were going on at that time. And I think UFO sightings had sprung into the consciousness of the population, especially after World War II. They became more frequent. And anyway, the first one I want to talk about is the Missouri UFO that was seen in Piedmont.
Okay. That's southern Piedmont, Missouri, right?
It's in Wayne County.
Yeah.
In Missouri. And I understand that's about maybe 50 miles away from your home in Rolla.
Is it just 50 miles away? I think
it's about an hour drive.
Well, that's okay. We'll take
southeast of you.
Yeah.
So over a period of a few months, hundreds of Wayne County residents reported objects moving through the night sky. Many of them were flying in V-shaped formations. And these weren't isolated reports because they were pouring in from all over that region. They got statewide and national attention, even on CBS News at the time.
Really?
This was 1973.
Okay,
so a physicist from Missouri by the name of Harley Rutledge decided to investigate, and he spent years gathering witnesses and testimonies about this particular incident.
Yeah.
And he even published a book called Project Identification.
Wow.
I don't know if it's still in print, but
hasn't our government also done that? Was he doing this in line with what our government was doing?
No, he was doing this independently.
Okay. So what was our government doing about this at the time?
Well, they were investigating as well.
Yeah. All right.
There was something called Project Blue Book that was happening at the same time. And of course it was top secret and they wouldn't divulge it to the public.
Yeah. Okay.
So, this Harley Rutledge book gave Missouri a unique place in UFO history. That's where it all kind of started.
Okay.
And then, let's see, there was the Columbia, Missouri event.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Columbia. That's only about 100 miles from you folks in Rolla.
Right. It's north of us. Right.
On what is it? Interstate 70?
63.
Okay. So a lot of witnesses reported seeing brightly illuminated oval-shaped objects.
Uh-huh.
And one in particular was hovering over a mobile home community.
Yeah.
And it circled the homes and the surrounding area before it landed near the interstate. And it stayed there for about 20 minutes. Everybody was looking at it.
No pictures taken?
Yes.
Were there pictures taken?
I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any in my research. But I imagine.
Did you ever hear of Salem, Missouri?
Salem?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but
I actually built a McDonald's there. My son owns it now. And I remember driving back and forth in these country roads.
Yeah.
And one day I saw the head of a not a cow, but a was it bull?
An animal?
A bull, yeah.
Yeah.
The head of a bull, just the head cut off, sitting right in the center of the street. And I come to have learned that sometimes we're finding whole things of just the skin of a cow or a bull, and the rest of the body was gone.
Yeah, I've heard animal mutilation cases. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I've heard
who would do that? Number one. Number two, it sounds like somebody is trying to figure out what these animals are and what they're doing, like a scientific description
I believe
of these.
You're entirely right.
Yeah.
Maybe from where they came, they don't have these animals anymore, and they're interested in the genetic makeup.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the case where pregnant cows they've been opened up and their babies removed from the womb.
Really? So maybe these people are exploring us and trying to get a different food source. Do you think?
It could be. You know what they call that when they take the baby cow?
No.
From the mother? They call it decaffeinated.
I was wondering how you're going to twist that one into a little joke. How do you know from funny, you bastard? That's all right.
How do you know from funny, you bastard?
I can call him a bastard. He knows I don't mean it.
It's okay.
I don't mean it much. Anyways.
I know that. A little
bit.
So anyway, this one I was talking about, the Columbia event.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest things about it is what happened to the vegetation in the area where it landed. Some of the grass and bushes like withered and died, but other ones began to grow much larger. And so federal investigators came out to examine the site, but their findings weren't ever released.
Okay, so wait a minute. So at this one place, I guess there are some cattle that died, and all the grass and all the bushes,
all the vegetation died overnight.
Overnight.
But,
how does that happen? They couldn't do an examination of that?
Well, yeah, the feds came out and tested all that stuff. But one of the weirdest things is other vegetation around that area started growing larger. And so there was two types of effects going on.
Speculate this. I mean, what could it have been?
Well, my first thought was that radiation killed the vegetation.
From what?
Some type of from the craft, some type of radiation that it emitted. But the idea of extreme plant growth in that area is fascinating. I can't quite understand that.
Wow. My wife would love that because she's a gardener. Right?
Sure.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
She's got corn, and something's eating our crops. Something is eating her crops. She thinks it's deer. Now I'm beginning to think it could be from outer space.
Or it could be deer.
The deer could be having a disguise of themselves. So you think it's deer, but it's really space aliens.
Sorry, that was actually me. I was on a golf course and had a
Was that you?
late night snack a couple times.
You
I meant to bring that up.
see, I knew it was something. Like, unbelievable.
Hey, Dave, can I tell an off-color joke?
Of course you can.
Okay, what's the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts?
I hate to say it. I don't know, and I'm not sure I want to, but go ahead.
Beer nuts are $2.45. Deer nuts are under $1.
That's pretty damn good. Now, are you writing these jokes? No.
No, I just know them.
Yeah, it's good. That was really good. That was funny.
Not bad.
Not bad. Just watch yourself. Yourself here. Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
If you said that in church as a faithful Catholic member of that church, what would the priest have said? What would he say?
He'd make me go to confession, I'm sure.
I know my pastor would have done.
What?
He would have laughed.
Yeah. Well, no, he might have put you in the box where you confess and say, "You got any more good jokes I can use?"
Oh my God. Well,
okay.
Hey, so anyway, getting back to the UFOs.
Yeah.
A lot of these have occurred around the Ozark Mountains, like I was saying.
Okay.
And when you look at the Ozarks, it's easy to understand why. First of all, like I said, they have thousands of caves. I've been in a few of them. They're amazing.
What are you doing them?
Oh,
they got caves all around us here.
What is the one that Jesse James used to be in?
Was that around here?
It's around Stanton, I think.
Stanton, Missouri.
Yeah, we're known for the caverns and all that. We've got several different sets of caverns and caves that you can go through, and even my family has property behind us that has caves in it that you can go explore. I did as a kid, so yeah.
Oh, there are caves all. Even her family.
Yeah,
our family
Kansas
has.
City.
Our family has the grandparents to our grandchildren on the other side. They have caves there. I've been in them. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's
if you've ever been to Branson, Missouri.
Yeah.
There's a place called Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
You know, and they have a cave that they take you through.
Yep.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. We do a full tour. It's I've never done it, but I know the line is always full every time we go to that park to take that tour. So yeah.
I've been there. It's quite nice. So anyway, some of my friends, my scientist friends, actually believe that these, listen to this one, that these remote areas and caves are actually, some of them have portals to other dimensions.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a lot of dementia going on too, but I'm wondering if these things can be proven over time, that it's probably not time travel as much as different dimensions of some kind of eerie thing going on with space. What do you think? I mean, because some of these things, they got most likely planet that's near us is K2-18b, and it's basically unreachable, and it's, you can't get there for like 2 million years or something.
Okay, let me just talk about time travel.
Yeah,
the way I've heard it presented to me.
Sure.
So if you've got a sheet of paper, and if you go from one corner to another corner on the far end, it takes an awful long time for an ant to transverse that paper. But if you
no sheet.
No sheet.
What's the matter with you?
If you fold the two corners together, then the ant goes from one corner to the other corner almost instantaneously. And that's what they believe time's like. If you can fold time, you can transverse, say, 200 million light years.
That sounds easy.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? I said we all go out tonight and have a party, and we try to tie things together.
Okay. Hey, I've got to tell you one more strange story about a Missouri farmer named Buck Nelson.
Buck Nelson. Wow.
Now, he lived in the Ozark region in the 1950s in a town called Mountain View, Missouri.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Have you ever heard of it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, he claimed that a saucer-shaped craft landed in the woods behind his house.
Yeah.
So he walked to the saucer, and several creatures came out of the saucer that weren't human, and he felt that they weren't going to hurt him. Okay. So he followed them back onto their craft.
Uh-huh.
and followed. I mean, he flew with them for hours and hours. So Buck said that they landed and docked in a cave. Where they showed him their base. This is back in the 1950s.
Okay.
And Buck woke up inside his house, laying on the floor, with a pillow under his head and a sheet pulled over his body. So, you know, he went to the press with this.
Yeah.
And
after they all stopped laughing, then what?
He became a celebrity, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. You remember me talking about the Art Bell show?
No.
Okay. Art Bell hosted a radio show that dealt with paranormal activity and UFOs and things.
Yeah.
And so Buck Nelson appeared on that several times. He actually put together UFO conventions, this fellow did. And people came from all over the United States came to Mountain View, Missouri to attend the UFO conventions. And they brought stories with them and artifacts, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, all right.
Well, you know, from my research, I found that Mountain View is only about 94 miles away from you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? I jotted this down. You take I-54 business to historic 66 and then take 63 straight in.
63 runs north and south right through Rolla, all the way from Canada to Texas.
Yeah.
So it's
so
pretty
this was going on, and you'd probably never even heard about it.
Well, you know, I always wondered what the hell was that 1981 and 82. And I had a brother-in-law then that also claimed that he was taken on. You know, he was a guy that deals with bones and stuff like that. I forget what they call it. Kind of a doctor, and he says, I'm pretty sure I got some kind of implant by his ear.
Yeah, like
they were following him or something. But
I've heard of that too.
But apparently, your daughter was commandeered in such a way after taking pictures of a space saucer that she was incognizant to the actual doing of this after it happened until somebody found the pictures in her camera, and then it came back to her.
It's true, and then she remembered. But the strangest part of this whole thing is her camera disappeared.
It did?
Okay, it did. This is the part I don't know if I told you, but she took it with her to band camp.
Yeah,
she's a member of a marching band that did on the field designs and those types of things.
Yeah,
and so they went to Florida. And she put her phone down with the pictures of the UFOs on it, on her table. And only her best friends were there eating with her.
Yeah.
And when she looked for her phone, it was gone.
So how did they get the pictures?
She called me up crying.
Huh.
The whole phone was gone, never to be found again.
Well, how'd you get the pictures?
How did I get the pictures personally?
Didn't you see them?
Oh, I saw them. This was before.
Okay.
I saw the pictures before she went to band camp.
Okay.
And I figured we had all the time in the world to make copies.
Right.
No.
They were on that then, maybe.
They were on that. And I was going to submit them to MUFON. Which is an organization that tracks that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was never able to.
Huh. All right. I got another guest coming on. He's a newbie. And I'm going to have to get going here. Other than the Dave Weinbaum show and Spacey Friends, where can people find your books?
Okay. I put a little reel. It's about a 10-second reel onto your Facebook Messenger. If you'd be so kind, click onto it. And
okay, I think we got something here.
A is for America.
Yeah,
is my book out to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our wonderful country.
What, Richard? Did you send it to the show Facebook or Dave's?
Show.
Okay,
Show Facebook.
Let me try to find it.
Okay, we're having trouble with Facebook today, so.
Yeah, me too.
So in any event, we got this other guest coming on, and he's a newbie, so I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about the guy. He's a minister, though. Should be reliable, right?
Yeah, of course.
While he's doing this, I got to tell you this. I got to confess. I quit X. Death was following me.
No.
Yeah. I hate to have that happen too, because I like to be on X.
It's not a good thing.
Hey, did you buy any SpaceX this morning?
No.
Why not? What do you know that the SpaceX get right up your alley?
I know.
All right, we got it.
Okay.
Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me.
All righty.
All
Richard,
right.
you have a great weekend, my friend. And
All right. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for being a star on the Dave Weinbaum Show. Thanks. We have no name for that star, but right now it's Richard. So what the hell?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, get off my phone, will you? What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm trying.
Okay, thank you. You're still on. Still on. Okay. Oh my gosh! And we have a newbie. Hopefully,
So I received a text from Magdalene that he's having some issue with StreamYard. It could be because of Facebook. So he's gonna be calling in here in just a second.
That's fine. That's good. All right.
You did have a question for Richard.
What?
From Aaron.
Yeah, give me some of the clips, because we can do that while he's doing that. Aaron Crane, the Dave Weinbaum Show. Question for the guest: if you had to hide a UFO or aliens, how and where would you hide it? Well, apparently these caves and or offshore. They go into caves underwater in California,
or I guess in Area 51, apparently
off of
too.
Malibu. Yeah, there we are. Hi there, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ron Susk.
Hi, Ron.
From Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Facebook was down for a while, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Don Susk, he's a veteran Christian minister, evangelist, founder of Susk Evangelist TV, radio, Bible teacher, writer, and over 50 years of experience. Please welcome Dr. Ron Susk. Welcome to the show. Everybody gets applause at first, and then we just drop you.
There you go.
There you go. Well, now you're in your at least 60s, right?
Thank you very much for the compliment. No, I'm 83.
Holy cow! You're older than I am. I'm 78 almost.
Well, it's pretty good on this side of the 80s, so come on in.
I'm trying, man. You know how I'm trying. What's the difference between evangelism and the Great Commission? I don't understand what that is.
Well, it's all one and the same. You find it in Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6, where God tells his son that it's not good enough for him only to bring the Jews back, but he wants him to be the light of the world. And that's exactly what Jesus said to us in the Great Commission. He said, go into all the world and preach the gospel. So it's one and the same, Dave.
Okay, so he was telling the apostles to spread the word, and that didn't happen till the Romans took up the religion back in 313 or so. Although there were offsets in Israel itself where they would have Christians, but it didn't get popular until the Romans took over. Is that right?
I'm fuzzy on that one because on the day of Pentecost, there was a great awakening. Thousands became followers of Christ, and then they spread out and spread the word. But by 70 AD, there was severe persecution against the Jewish Christians. And that's what the whole book of Romans was written to, those people. Don't lose what you gained, even though Jesus warned us that they hate me, they're going to hate you. Yeah. And so that would be the history that I would look to.
You know, there's a lot of different Christian churches. There's Catholicism, there's Baptists, there's all sorts of things. How do you go about church conflicts with each other?
Well, it's not so much with each other as it's often internal. I wrote a book called Firestorm, Preventing and Overcoming Church Conflict. And generally it's an internal thing. It can be over doctrine. It can be over the color of the shades, you name it. We are creatures of controversy, unfortunately. And so we have gone into quite a number of large churches that were ready to collapse. And we've seen many of them turn around and be highly successful because Jesus said, by this will the whole world know that you're my disciples, that you love one another. So getting back to love is not an easy thing because love must be given whether it's deserved or not. When Jesus was hanging on the cross, he wasn't hanging there just for the nice people who would come to him. He was dying for the world. And so to bring churches back to center of what the gospel is, and don't worry about the color of your carpet. Let's worry about getting the gospel to the nations of the world as we're commissioned to do. And we're very thrilled that many of those churches have really turned around and they're doing a great job.
I find it pretty interesting because I'm Jewish. And my family was kicked out, you know, with the rest of us, I guess, and the ones that were killed. Luckily, we weren't killed, but we were sent out to, where were we? We were like in Russia, in you know, the now called Ukraine, and then we escaped there because they were obviously killing Jews there in the 1900s, early 1900s through the Holocaust. So I ended up in Chicago, as my father did. I was born in 1948 and grew up there, but there wasn't a lot of. I mean, I went to Hebrew school and I liked it. I didn't like regular school, but I liked Hebrew school. There was something there that turned me on. In fact, to the point to where I had one guy who says, you need to be a rabbi. I said, I don't think so. But it was quite an honor, and I'll always remember that. And and I don't know why I alleged to that part of the scope of all religions. Tell me about your wife, Diane, and your 50 years in the ministry together.
I think it was 58 years.
Wow.
She's a graduate of Peabody Music in Baltimore. Very rare voice. She has been, she's won Best Singer of the Year award and many things, and she's sung at many major events. And she's just a great asset in every way. And we've enjoyed these years together in serving God. And in fact, tonight she'll be singing and I'll be speaking at a funeral for one of our staff members who died suddenly about a week ago. And Then again, another service tomorrow morning in his hometown. So we got some interesting things going on here. But yeah, she was just a beauty queen and very talented, but above all, a tremendous heart. She cannot even stand to see an animal die.
That's pretty good. That's do you eat meat?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
As long as she doesn't have to see any of the process or know about it.
Okay. So what makes you a minister in the first place? I mean, what's happened in your life that made you decide the pure and simple gospel of Jesus Christ?
I was very rebellious in my youth, extremely so. My parents were at great wit's end with me, and I was running with a very rough crowd, a dangerous crowd, in a town that is famed as Little Chicago.
What?
Which is, yeah,
where?
Kensington, Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh. That's where Alcoa Works was. In fact, aluminum was invented there, and it became the Aluminum City of America. And that's brought in the mafia. And so it was a very rough town and a scary town. And I was falling into that. And my parents forced me to go to a youth convention, a Youth for Christ convention in Ocean City, New Jersey. And what struck me was not the sermon. I learned how to deflect sermons and not hear them. But what struck me was to see 1,100 young people with clean eyes and clean smiles and something alive about them. And so that night I went down to the boardwalk and stood over the ocean and said, God, here I am. If you can do anything with me, I'm yours. And
how old are you? How old were you then?
I was about 14, 15. Yeah. And so it was a radical conversion. And then it dawned on me, if God can change me, he can change anybody. So that was one of the early thoughts that drove me to become an evangelist.
So you were a special kind of minister as you came in a somewhat older man in 1968 by the American Baptist Conference. How did this? Huh?
The North American.
Yeah, North
Baptist.
American. I'm sorry.
That's
and
right.
it changed your life, and your freedom influenced your approach over 5 decades.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And now, Dave, God has, in my latter years, it actually started, I would say 50 years ago, but I did not know that a calling was going to come with it. I became enamored by this strange prophecy in the Bible that joins the Jews, the Assyrians, and the Egyptians in the end time, and that they are going to worship together. There will be a highway running between them, and they'll worship together, and they will be a blessing to every nation on earth. Well, I was intrigued by that. I didn't feel any calling to do anything about it. But I found myself walking through airports with a question in my mind: how can this be when there are no Assyrians? I thought they were totally terminated in 612 BC. And then eventually I met an Assyrian, and I spoke on the subject, and he came at an international convention, and he came out of the audience and he said, Ron, I've never heard anyone speak on that before, but I've written 2 books about it. If you'll write the next book, I'll give you all my research. I am an Assyrian. Well, I'm telling you, Dave, I got chills. I thought I was looking at Lazarus coming out of the grave. So I think that this prophecy is now, after 2,700 years, moving slowly but definitely toward fulfillment by the hand of God, because it started in my thinking when the Jews returned to Israel, 1947. That was a huge, huge global adjustment. And now I think that the next step is to see the Assyrians restored to their historic homeland in northern Iraq and parts of a couple of other nations. I would
guess part of them would be Syria, right?
A little slice of Syria
Yeah.
and a slice of Turkey. Yes, not a lot. So
Now
they
you're
don't need
making
to
me
get-
hungry.
Yeah, they don't need to get nervous, but
There you
a
go.
little slice of each. But this would become, in fact, I've already have a proposal before President Trump expressing that the Assyrians, I know them now well. I've been working with them now for 11 years because when ISIS struck, that's who they were after, to wipe out Christianity. And that's when I felt the call to give my whole being to their cause. So I've written the book, The Assyrian Prophecy, and not that I'm just focusing on them. I'm committed to the three nations in the prophecy. But I think we're now the step 2, and that is to see Assyria established as a sovereign Christian nation in her ancient homeland. And I'm hoping and praying that possibly with President Trump taking the fear factor away from Islam, radical Islam in Iran, that they're just people. They have a vicious vision, but they're just people. Is that possibly the beginning of the runway to see the Assyrians restored as a sovereign nation? That would become a phenomenal asset to Israel and to America.
Well, that would really sanctify you as almost like a prophet.
Well, you know what the word prophecy is? It simply means one who speaks for God.
Okay.
And I'm not getting visions or messages in my ear. I'm just studying the scriptures, and there it is. So I'm just carrying out what God already said through Isaiah, that great prophet Isaiah.
Now, out of the books that you've written, you wrote a story about Hitler's youth's transformation. What is that about?
I'm not pulling that back. Which book was that in?
I don't know. I found it on. I looked you up on AI.
Okay. Well, I think what might be, they might have misinterpreted that a bit. There's a book that I have really read probably 50 times called Reese Howell's Intercessor.
Yeah.
And he may be the one man totally unknown to the world who, by interceding before God, which he did with his little college in Wales, brought down Adolf Hitler. He made 4 public announcements of what's going to happen to Hitler, and they happened exactly as he said it in sequence.
Okay. Well, that obviously that question was miswrote by AI. Is not supposed to make any mistakes, are they?
I know.
What the hell's that about?
They're generally great. They're generally great, but every now and then
wait. The prediction now is that AI is going to kill us all. It's going to kill all the humans. What do you think of that?
Good and evil takes over everything from gas stations to markets to you name it. And we're going to have to fight the evil that will leak into AI, but there is a great side to AI that I found.
Yeah, me too. I use it all the time, lately.
Yeah.
Seeing that Jesus was a Jew, how much difference could there be between Jews and Christians?
Well, there's really no difference other than the Jews have not yet believed that Jesus is the Messiah. Despite all the fulfillment of all the prophecies, that not one prophecy was missed. Every single one was fulfilled to the T. And despite the miracles that he did while on earth, they just could not accept that. And so they are waiting on a Messiah, but they do not think it's Jesus Christ. But the prediction that we see in the latter books of the Bible, they will come to see that the veil will be lifted, and they're going to realize this is who our Messiah was and is, and he's going to return, and he's going to be sitting on David's throne in Jerusalem.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's going to be very interesting because Jews don't go out and try to get people to be Jews. We don't do that. For some reason, we just hang out with ourselves. We hang out with the old Bible, which is the 10 Commandments, and we don't see any 11th commandment that tells us that, by the way, Jesus is your Savior. We don't see it. We it's not there, and we kind of don't listen to the new Bible. We don't believe in it. And here's what I'd say.
Let me just interrupt you
Go
there.
ahead.
It is there in the prophecies. There are many prophecies describing exactly what the Savior will be like, and he fulfilled every single one of them. So in that sense,
is that Ezekiel?
That's in Isaiah. That's in Jeremiah. That's in the Psalms. The Old Testament is loaded because God's not playing a game. He's revealing himself and his Son, and for whatever reason, and I don't even try to touch it. That's up to men and God.
Yeah.
The higher ups in the Jewish movement, while the Jewish common people looked to him and followed him, the leadership did not.
Well, I'm reading this series right now on Jesus, The Chosen. I don't know if you've seen that at all. It's all over the internet. It's all over the reels in Facebook.
Yeah,
and it's very interesting, And it's kind of interesting in that here is this Jewish guy. And he admits he's Jewish, but he has trouble with the politician Jews.
Oh yeah,
and the fact that the Romans are running things, and he's telling them about stuff that he thinks are true. He's curing a lot of people, and throwing love in there and stuff like that. And yet, why wouldn't God notify the Jews via the 10 Commandments and get another commandment in there if that was the true Savior?
Well, I go back to the fact that he did outline it very clearly through the prophets, giving all the evidences, and then read very carefully Isaiah chapter 7, and something very interesting took place. And this is mega, Dave. This is huge. I never saw this before until in the middle of the night I was studying, and it just lit up. In Isaiah chapter 7, King Ahaz is terrified because, the king of the north, the northern tribes of Israel was joining with another nation to attack him in Israel. He was terrified, and God said, no, they're burning embers. They're not going to be able to do it. So if you want to, ask me for a sign, but make it an impossible sign for me to tell you it's not going to happen. Well, Ahaz said, no, I'm not going to challenge you, which I think was just showing his lack of faith in God. Now, here's the point. God said to Ahaz, in 65 years, so now there's a prophecy, in 65 years, I am sending this group, he didn't name it there, but it was the Assyrians, to take out the top 10 tribes of Israel. Now that became a bitter pill for even yet to this day. And the Bible even tells in the Old Testament, the cities they put them in. And then they implanted Gentiles into what was once Israel. And then in chapter 8 or 9, the first verse, you read where a new name arrives in history, where that is called the Galilee of the Gentiles. Now, why is that important? Because God is totally committed to the Jews, as I am, and he's totally committed to the entire world. For God so loves the world that he gave his only begotten Son. So what happened? In Isaiah, Old Testament, chapter 49, verse 6, that's where God commissioned his Son to be a light to the world, not only to the Jews. This is not a tribal God. This is the God of the universe and the world and creation. Right. And so, interestingly enough, what the Assyrians were actually doing, wittingly or not, as they made this exchange, taking Jews out and putting Gentiles in, they didn't torture the Jews. They just took them as slaves and put them in different cities. They were actually setting the stage for Jesus' ministry, because Jesus was raised in Nazareth, which was now in the Galilee of the Gentiles.
Yeah.
The majority of his ministry was to the Gentiles. And after his death and resurrection, the angel told two women, go to the Galilee and tell the disciples to meet him there. Now, that does not downgrade the Jew in the slightest. That elevates the nations of the world, that God loves the world that he created.
So I'm gonna come up with something, and don't take offense, but some groups in Christianity don't like Jews, and they have killed Jews. For example, the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, had something about Jews being evil and disgusting, and they did kill a lot of Jews at one point. Some of them were Christians too, but I don't understand how you can be a Christian and hate Jews, because, as you said, Jesus is he's gonna go back to Jerusalem, and he's gonna run the world from there.
Yep.
How does that work?
You cannot be a Christian, a true born again Christian, and hate the Jew.
There you go.
That's it. Period.
That's Hagee. Do you know Hagee?
And what we're dealing with, Dave, we do have a Satan who is a murderer and a liar.
Yeah.
And look what he's done to our universities, the stupid stuff he's planted there.
Unbelievable.
And you get people who are not truly born of the Spirit of God in Christian positions high up.
Yep.
Your ears open to the devil. And so they were functioning on the lies of hell in attacking the Jews. And anyone and any nation that does that is really, really going to face a severe. The Bible is clear about that. There is coming, Dave, a global meltdown, and there is no way to stop it. Just as nobody could stop the flood of Noah from coming, as God cleansed the earth, which I think was to our benefit, because had he allowed the corruption to go on, we probably wouldn't be here today. And with Sodom and Gomorrah, the same thing. So, Dave, God, we have to remember that God used the Jews to bring Jesus into the world. Now, wake up.
Exactly. That's so true. And for me, I look at it this way. I see these Catholics who are and other Christians who are going against Jews. I see them as being in trouble. That when they die, they're going to have to face Jesus and explain to him why he hates Jews, who Jesus is one of, and so were all the apostles. So
and they are also going to be paying a price in this lifetime, because you know that every time God would raise up a nation and they overstep their boundaries, read your history, down they come. And there are prices to be paid in this lifetime, but you are right. When they stand before the Lord, it's going to be lights out.
Yeah, and then you've got this last war, this Iran war, and you got Israel, who's not trying to fight anybody. They're trying to enjoy this thing. And 10/7/23, they get attacked viciously and have the equivalent of 41,000 people killed if we were in the United States, murdered, babies' heads cut off, and things like that. And everyone wants to ignore that.
Dave,
give me a break.
Let me share with you how I'm praying about that.
Yeah.
I think that President Trump has done a phenomenal job,
so do
as
I.
well as Benjamin Netanyahu, who, by the way, has already read my book.
Oh, great.
And they've done a great job, but now they've hit a wall that cannot be conquered by our military or by the president, and that is that you've got the regime scattered throughout the people. They play that game. They'll hide under play yards. They'll do anything. Well, you cannot blindfold God.
Right.
And we have seen God, for example.
I hate to interrupt you, but I got 30 seconds left. then it's cut off.
We'll do that as a cliffhanger.
Okay.
And I'll
so other than, as quickly
you.
as possible, other than DWS, where can people buy your books? seaministries.org, SEAC ministries.org, or Google. Not Google. What am I after? I don't know. They'll figure it out. Amazon. All right, I gotta go. I love the interview. I'll get you back sometime.
Let's do
have
it.
Have a great Shabbat Shalom. How's that?
Thanks. Shalom to you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, that's it.